Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I am excited to finally bring this information out. A lot of you are saying, get it out as soon as possible and all that stuff. If anybody understands the weight of this, it's definitely me. And I've been doing this whole time over a year because I want to get this information, warn as many people as possible. So I'm very thankful to finally release this. Now I've cut off a lot of things that I could have put on this because I want to get this out to you as soon as possible. But I did not sacrifice the most important things because I have to build a case from the people who are basically supporting me completely and think I'm on the right track, all the way to people who don't think this is real at all and think this is silly or even call me names and stuff, and death threats even I've had, which is mind blowing. But so I have to present as much as I can. So it takes what it takes. So just keep that in mind. So with not getting too much more of that, I want to absolutely give thanks to God and Jesus in every way. Also to my family, my daughter, my wife. My wife's been so supportive in all this. I'm so thankful to have a wife. A lot of you have spouses that don't support you in the end times eschatology stuff that and my heart goes out to you, and I'm so thankful my wife does support me. And I want to thank my brothers, Bruno and Jeff. They've been huge for all this, to get this information out. If not for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I thank you for that. And anyway, so let me get into all this here, and I'm excited to reveal these details to you. So the code is broken, and I'm saying that with 100% surety. Banking on a guarantee that if this does not happen with when I say nothing super substantial regarding an attack happens on this date, then I'm done. I'm done with iPad Goat 2. I'm done with talking about attacks. I may put out some videos on, just something. I don't even know. I have no idea. But it won't be on any of this stuff, because if this doesn't happen, this is not real. This is all smokescreen and all that stuff. So, but I don't think so. I think it ties into everything, the media, so many things, and I think I'm going to prove that. So, we're in a system of control, and a lot of people can't see that. Can you see the system of control? Maybe you can see a little bit. It's the Matrix, basically. The powers that be have put us in a system of control, and I plan to kind of reveal that even more and show you that we are in a system of control. But a lot of people don't see it very well or at all. It's like this. So I want to reveal the system of control as well as giving you the time frames, because this is all a systematic. It's all systematic and designed to keep you in obedience and everything, and bring you to this day. This is what they've been looking for eons, pretty much, for thousands of years, hundreds of years. This day that's coming. So, of course, it would be in so many things, because predictive programming is one of their biggest tools to move the masses into ideas and directions that they want, to bring them to one world government, one world religion. Okay, that's the primary goal. That's the prime directive, you could say, in a way, using a Star Trek metaphor. Even though I'm not a Trekkie. So I did say, and so this is very key to this code. 9/11 was 8/27 on the Julian calendar, and 8/11 is 8/27 on the Gregorian calendar. So 8/27, and all my work on that, and all my work on 8/11. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, iPad Goat 2 and Georgia Guidestones Completely Solved, parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, or you haven't seen before that about 8/11, the August attacks, iPad Go 2 Completely Solved August attacks, and you want to know more about how 8/11 is integrated in so many things, just like 9/11 was before 9/11, watch those first, okay? Or I mean, not before this necessarily, but just watch those. Get a good idea of the reality of that you're in. It's complete control, okay? So let me get into, again, I'm going to just really quickly reiterate a couple things. One is, of course, we're in the year of the 88 days in between the blood moons and Passover being in the center, which is 8 times 11, which is 8/11, or 11/8, however you look at it. It's the code. The code is all about the code to the actual time. Okay, and they go about all different ways to do that. So I'm going to explain more about this. So again, we have August 11th and September 11th. And what is their relationship, and what are they really saying? So I've said that the difference between those is 827. It's in the middle, and there's 16 days in between, or 16 days on either side from August 27th. If you include August 27th all the way to September 11th, you have 16 days, which is 8 plus 8, and then you go backwards to August 11th from 827 to 16 days as well. Okay, so what are they really saying? They're pointing to 9/11. This is the big kicker here. It's 9/11 the whole time. I'm going to show you so many things that support this. And it's 9/11 and 9/12. Okay, and there's a number of reasons why, and I'm going to build a case here. So you got to come with me on this because this is so profound, you will not believe it, and it's so psychological that for a long time I didn't even consider it, and then after really working with Bruno, my brother Bruno, on his his understandings and my understandings together, and then engaging the Lord, he really started opening my eyes to why this is really a mastermind plan. It's really, in a sense, evil genius, because no one will expect it, and it will broadside people. It will just completely, and then it will provoke such anger that it happened again on 9/11. Okay, let me get into this. So 9/11 and 9/12 are actually 9-2-3. So 11 is 1 plus 1 is 2, and 12 is 1 plus 2 is 3. Like I've said, 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, I had a dream. 9-2-3, America is laid low, and this finally is it. I can honestly say this is finally it. And I am so thankful to finally be here to give you guys 11 days notice. And the reason why it's 12 is because it's the time on the East Coast. Is a little after 3 a.m. on the East Coast, and then 6 hours early as far as time zone is a little after 9 p.m. in Hawaii, Hawaii Standard Time. But they're the same moment, exactly the same moment. They're just different time zones, that's it. And 2 different days. They had to use 2 different days to do all these different things that connect to it, and just do this big whole, all these different symbols and meanings that relate to both days, and it's just so much. The more numbers, the more connections, the more religious symbols and paths and predictive programming that they can do. If let's just say they base it on one number, 9/11, and everything was just 9/11, there wasn't 8/11, or there wasn't 236 or 239 or 923, which it's all based on one code basically, which is 8/11. Everything's based on 8/11. It's the code. It is the code, and I'm going to show you that. Then it would be boring, and it wouldn't be so intricate, and it wouldn't be so hidden. They didn't have all these things related to one main theme, which is ultimately hidden, of course, and also 16 days earlier on the Julian calendar versus the actual Gregorian calendar, when we're going to get hit on 11 and 12 of September. Okay, so the year of 9/11 and 12, 9/11 and 9/12 is 2019. Is that a coincidence? It's not, because 2019 is 912 backwards. Can you believe it? Okay, I am bringing you definitive evidence here. So many things line up. It is incredible. And then 912, of course, 2 in the 912 breaks down into 11. So that's 9111. Which is, the 1 is a slash also. So you see right there, it's 9/12 and 9/11. Secretly hidden. It's all their methodology. It's the way they look at things, and I've shown it so many times in my videos. So if you look at 9/12, 2019, 9/12 is a mirror of 2019. It's an absolute mirror. If you put a mirror right there, it's a mirror. And they're all about this in so many ways, mirroring things. Okay, so look at 8/11 over here on the left, okay, and then look at 9/11 on the right. Okay, why is this important? Well, 827 is the mirror. It's in the center. It's the mirror of the 2. Okay, so 8/11 breaks down, if that slash, like I said, a slash can be a 1 or a slash, and I've shown that so many times and so many things. 8/11 is really 8111, which is a master code. It's probably the master code. And then 8111 8 plus 1 is 9, and then the other 1 is 11, so it's 9/11. Okay, that's on this side. And then 9/11 on the right side is 8/11. How is 9/11 8/11? And it's the 239th day of the year is in the middle between these. So another way of looking at it is 827, but it's also 239 is in the middle, which is 923 backwards, or 923 backwards, or 23/9, however you want to look at it. But how is 9/11 8/11? Well, because September 11th, when you get to September 11th, 8 months, 8 complete months have passed, getting you to the very beginning of September, because the full August has passed. That's the full 8th month. 11 days later, past the full 8th month, is 9/11. Only because we're only 11 days into September, so that's 8/11. So each is each other. It's really crazy, and this is all their grand scheme. And again, this is run by demons who are far more intelligent than humans, and they've been doing this for thousands of years. And I've shown how this stuff has gone for so many years. We're talking about the Gregorian changes and Julian. I mean, so many things I can't even all talk about. We're talking about thousands of years here, okay, of human existence. And what runs through all of it are demons, are fallen angels, to bring mankind into the worship ultimately of Lucifer incarnate in a person, which is Barack Obama, like I've said. Okay, and I'm going to show you that related to Barack Obama in another way, more ways. But look at, this is the conversion from a Gregorian to the Hebrew date, which is what the government of Israel follows, in a sense. So the main calendar of Israel, not the real calendar, not even what some other sects observe, the other groups of Hebrew or Israelites, Jews, whatever. The main one that basically the blood moons were coordinated to as well, that God coordinated to those because that was their main calendar. But if we go from September 11th and September 12th and convert to the Hebrew date, guess what? It's exactly the same exact days. It's the 11th of Elul and the 12th of Elul. Well, what's Elul? It's the 6th month of their calendar. It's the 6th month. Okay, so 923 is 623. Okay, so 923, September 11th and 12th, which is 11 is 1 plus 1 is 2, and 12 is 1 plus 2 is 3. Same thing here. It's just a different month. You substitute the 9 for the 6, so 923 is 623. And like I said, I've been given this way ahead of time, months and months ago. I had a dream, a really quick dream. I saw Jesus, and he came up to me and he whispered in my ear, 923 is 623. And so I was like, wow. And then it opened up iPad Go 2 so much more, and I saw so many 623s in addition to 923s. I could not believe it. And I saw 623s in movies when I thought they were just showing 6 upside down as 923, but half of them were showing 623 or 236, and half of them were showing 923 or 239. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing, pointing to the same exact thing. Just different codes of the same master codes. Okay, so now I'm excited to get into iPad Go 2 because, like I said, I finally completely solved it. Now, when I've said completely solved, I had most of it done. I just didn't know the time exactly, the date. Okay, and I have the events. So the events that matter to me are the first events that kick everything off. And plus, there's going to be nuclear as well, which, the first events are nuclear torpedoes in a sense, but eventually there'll be nuclear attacks or whatever it is that they use exactly, whatever it is. But anyway, I believe it's nuclear, so they're going to have nuclear attacks. So, and they'll cause 2 mega tsunamis that will hit both coasts at the same time on this day, 9/11/12. Like I said, it's after 9 p.m. On Hawaii Standard Time. Just after 9 p.m. it shows in iPad Go 2, and then just after 3 a.m. East Coast time on 9/12. So I'm going to reiterate this again to all of you who are watching this. Don't look for it until the evening or the early morning of 9/12 in a sense. Because some people they'll kind of, 9/11 didn't happen, it's 9/11, nothing happened, or it's in the evening. Well, it's basically when you wake up the next day, you're going to experience it if you're not in the path of these mega tsunamis. So Anyway, so here's the opening scene. Really, it goes right past this little knob that holds the barbed wire here, which is really an eclipse, and I believe it was showing the eclipse. So you got a kind of a moon and a sun kind of example of the eclipse. We're showing the eclipse in a sense for 2017, but then this is for July, so this is also a timeline. I'm gonna get into all that right now. So this actually represents 2017 and 2019. But anyway, for 2019, check this where this box is and everything. This box here, we'll check it out. It's 9/11. 9 right here. Boop. 11 right there. And I'm going to show you the things that are very hard to dispute. There's so many more 9/11s, but they're not as easy to see. So I'm not going to put those. You guys can look for any other ones you want, but I'm going to show you the ones that are so more obvious that they're very hard to deny. In all this stuff, there are going to be all kinds of super subtle things that are hard to see. There may be a couple that are somewhat hard to see, but most of these are very easy to see, in my opinion. It depends on how much you can see. If you're completely blind, you won't be able to see anything. So, but this is pretty obvious. It's 9/11 right here, 9/11. Okay, let's keep going. Well, and then I want to mention the reason why it's called, a lot of people don't know, comma, Pet Goat 2, is because on the morning of September 11th, 2001, around 10 a.m., in front of a sign stating "Reading makes a country great," George Bush was reading The Pet Goat while also listening to it being recited by a group of school children at Emma E. Booker Elementary School in Sarasota County, Florida, just after White House Chief of Staff Andrew Card informed him that a second airplane had just hit the World Trade Center. Bush remained seated for roughly 7 minutes and followed along as the children read the book. And then anyway, I won't read anymore. But this is the actual book, and it's called The Pet Goat, or you could say Pet Goat. So you can just get Pet Goat. So why is it called I, Pet Goat? This is why. Because I is the 9th letter of the alphabet, 9. And then this 2 is really 11, right there, 9/11, 9/11, right there. Okay, and then check this out. So there's far more than this, but I'm just going to show you the ones that are more obvious. Do you see up here? What's that? Well, let me show you upside down. It's 9 right here, 11. In the horn is the main top of the 9, and then it's kind of light. And there's 11 there. There's 9/11 again. So it's all over. I can show you more on this, but they don't look as obvious. And some people would say, I don't know about that. So hopefully you see these. But it's right in the opening scene. You got the box. You have these. It's crazy. Okay, then we have George Bush. Okay, this is a close-up of him as he was doing the boom sign, and then it starts fading out of that. And then he's basically about to go into the classroom here. But right here, on his head is S. This is an S right here. So let me show you here. This is an S. S, okay, which is 19. Just a second here. I hate it when it does that. 19. That's 19, which is S, the 19th letter of the alphabet. And then we could look at his 19 is on top, and then we can look at his 1 right there, 1 right there. And if you go, I don't know about that, then how about this? S, and then we have E. E, kind of like C. It's C. It says C right here. S-E-E. Or this is kind of like the C in another way. And there's a tsunami coming right here. A tsunami is his hair, is a wave coming, a big wave coming in the sea, in a sense. Another way of looking at it. But S-E-E, okay, would be, S would be 19, and then E would be 5. So you have 2 5s, which make 10. And then you put the 19 backwards, it's 9/11. Or you take this 19 to that backwards, my phone is actually shaking because I have it on a mount. Actually, here, let me hold it here, 9/11. So 19 backwards is 9/11, or 9/11 as S-E-E. However you want to look at it, it's the same thing. It's right there. It's absolutely right there. Okay, another scene where George Bush is dancing, and he puts both hands up. And for a while, I was like, what the heck? And I finally figured this out. So it's 5 and 5 is 10. So, you put your hands up and fingers out. It's 10. So we have 10. Okay? And then I'm going to carry over this 10, that other 10. And he puts his hands up again. It goes down and puts them up again. So you have plus 10. Okay? This is shaking. I got to hold my phone better. Okay, so. And then right here, so we have the 10 plus 10, or 10 and 10, basically, whatever, 10 and 10. And then right here, some people might think it's 3, but then he would have this finger right here up. You know, we normally do 3, but no, it's this finger and then this finger's down. So this is actually 12, and this is 4. Okay, so 12 plus 4 is 16. So we have, from the one 10, we have 1, because you don't count the 0. The other 10, we have 1, and then we have 16. So that, to turn it upside down and backwards, we have 9, 1, 1, 1, or 9 slash 1, 1. 9, 11. Okay, that's what this is. I'm telling you. I have no doubt whatsoever that that's what this all is. And it's been in most people's, in their face, in plain sight, because most people, probably everybody pretty much, there might be a few exceptions, would never assume that we'd be hit on 9/11 again. Okay, it's psychological, and they bank on this, actually. And then when we get attacked on 9/11/12, people are going to be furious. And then people are going to say, let's get them, like they did when 9/11 happened. And then guess what? It resulted in war after 9/11. So this 9/11 is going to be resulting in World War III, and we're going to attack, and then we're going to be attacked finally with nuclear by Iran/Russia/China, whatever. Okay, this is all very intricate, and it's crazy, and this is it. Here we go. Now, see these alphabet letters here in the classroom, you know, and this is very, for a long time, I understood some of it, but I didn't understand all this stuff and what it meant and everything. But this is a actual cipher. It's a different cipher. So in regular English ordinal or regular English gematria, or I should say simple English gematria or simple gematria, you know, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, right? Well, this is a new setup right here. What this is, let me show you. This is a new setup, a new cipher. Okay, and so you look at this stuff in relationship to this new cipher. Okay, so E equals 1, F equals 2, G equals 3. So let me show you. So E is 1 right there. E is 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, all the way down to Z being 22. And then Z is skewed right here. So that's 22. O is skewed, and that's 11. Okay, so the difference between these two, this is 11 into it from E, and this is 11. So guess what? We have 11, 11. Or just 11. It doesn't have to be a date. It's just 11, 11. That's what they're really into, 11, 11 as well, because it's 8, 11 and 9, 11. Remember that center where the August 27 was in the center? We actually have 8, 11 on one side and 9, 11 on the other side, so that's 11, 11. Okay, so if we actually look at this correctly, this is not the best. I wanted to have a picture where this evil, EVOL, and then space T and N, which is trying to say it's evolution. Okay, but if you can see the E right here, hopefully you can, and VOL, whatever here. Okay, so I'm going to use this as an example right here. Okay, and this is, okay, so let's just use this, but this is what it is. If you want to look, you can see this and how this works. And then let me just explain this actually. The blue is actually 1 up here through 22. But if you notice, look at the Z or whatever, the big letter or the capital letter is on the right side of the small letter. That's not normally how it is. If you look at Z, when you had your alphabets when you were a kid, the big Z is first because that's capital. Well, it's reversed. And what that means is that's another cipher, which is right here. Z equals 1, and then it goes backwards all the way to E equals 22. In fact, this is really crazy because if you look at this, look at the E, and I put this way on purpose. Look at E. If you go forward, it's 1. If you go backward, it's 22. 1 plus 22 is 23. Let's pick any letter. Look at K. K. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So K, with the forward, is 7. Backward is 16. That's 23. Remember how they're so into 23? And I'm saying 923 and 623 and 23:9 and all these 23s, and birth of the Antichrist is 623. All these 23s and all this stuff. Every one of these, if you do it forward and reverse, it's 23. 9 plus 14, 23. right? Okay, so now we're just going to go like this. We're just going to basically start with just a lowercase here. So EVOL, E is 1, V is 18, O is 11, and L is 8. Well, remember that commercial that I have, one of my videos? Who you gonna call? 118. And there's the 118 twins. Again, twin attacks. It's right there. And then we have T. T is 16. Okay. N is 10. By the way, my daughter's helping me with this. She's made a really cool chart, and she's helped me with this right now, which for this. And like I put a chart on here. What N is?
8.
No, N is 10. Yeah, so that's 10. Okay, so anyway, so if you look at this, 118 is the two, like I said, two coasts, the two attack days, 811, 811. Then right here we have 16, which is backwards, 611, and then that is upside down, or this is 16 is upside down, or 6 upside down, 911. So 911 is on 118 and 118, both attack days, twin attack days, which is 811. So that's one way to look at this. Another way to look at this is, now we're talking about the capitals now. So this is just, if we just look at the basic letters, it's weird how this works. Now let's just look at lowercase and capitals. So we have E is again 1, V is 18, O is 11, okay, and then but capital L is 8. Is that right? Capital L is not 8. No, capital L is, sorry, we got a little technical difficulties here. Capital L is 15. Wait, no, hold on a second here. What's capital L? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15. That's right. Okay. So if we just look at EVOL with L as a capital, then we have 118, 118, 11, and then 1 and 5 is 6. And then we turn this whole thing, that's right, 118 and 1116 or 116. This whole thing upside down and backwards. The 8 doesn't matter. It could be turned upside down. It's 911 811. So 911 is 811. Isn't that crazy? And again, if we do the T, what's the capital T? Is 16. And I wish I could clear all this out here, but 16. T is 16. Let's just go down here. 16. Then N is 13. Was that right? I'm trying to think what this was. Oh yeah, that's right. So this was actually so 16 and 13. So 7, and then we got 4. That's 11. So you can actually add this to this 11, and it ends up being another way of doing 8, 11, 9, 11, 11, 9. I mean, it's crazy. So this is all. Hope you're following me. I've kind of forgot my order. I was doing this stuff, and I've got all this stuff all over the screen, but it's right here. I mean, this is the cipher. This is the cipher for all this right here. It's really, wow. I mean, so now let's just keep going here. So this is, have this in mind. You can see how this works. Okay, and then we have Bush. He's saying, this is what he actually says for the most part. He says, fool me once, and he kind of yells it, shame on you. And then he says, fool me, and he says, can't get fooled again. Okay, so this is important because this points to 9/11 as well, because he says, fool me once, which is the first 9/11, shame on you, fool me. So he's talking about the second one. The second one is fool me twice, right? The same as thing, fool me. So he says, fool me. So that means we're going to get fooled, but we're arrogant, thinking, can't get fooled again. So the clue is in that, fool me. And then we believe, can't get fooled again. And so he represents Americans, but they're going to get fooled. So that's right in there. I mean, he's basically saying what's going to happen. Fool me. And then he's like, can't get fooled again because I'm too arrogant. I can't see it coming. This is crazy, people. Hopefully you see this. Okay, I'm bringing you definitive evidence. This is crazy. And then check out these letters now, the alphabet letters now. See the colors that they are now? But you can't see it from a distance before, but now you can. This is just one scene, and then you don't see it at all. But these colors are, this is ultraviolet. This is the violet that basically Obama is on his tassel on this. And I'm going to show you again here, but it's on the color that's on his tassel that represents him, the Antichrist. And then this color, which is also smeared on him as the figure to the left of Lily, and I'm going to show you that here in a little bit. Well, I've talked about this stuff. If you don't know about this stuff, I can't, get into every single little thing that I've talked about in the past because it would be like a 4-hour, 5-hour long video. But and then this color is that kind of like a periwinkle blue that is the figures behind Lily. That's the color. That's the bluish kind of off blue color, and then you have the off purple color, basically blue and purple, but they're not, there's more like violet and like a periwinkle blue. So that's the colors here. And so if you just go by these right here, okay, but first I'm going to show you this. Also, it says right here, when this cuts to this part, it says I am Q. This is kind of covered up. I could have moved it to the side a little bit, but it's basically Q is right there. I am Q, and it's a black lady. I wonder, it may be Michelle Obama. I wonder. I'm just guessing. It may be Michelle Obama. She may be Q, because I know that, and I've shared with you so many reasons why Barack Obama is the Antichrist. I'm going to share more, but maybe Michelle Obama is Q. Anyway, and then it stops right here when it's panning over, and so let's look at this once again. So O is 11. L is 15. Okay, T is, what is T? T is 7. And N is 13. Okay, so easily, oh, that's a 13. Okay, so that's easily, this is 4, this is 7, so these two make 11. And then this makes 1, 1, 6. And what is that? I wonder. It's basically, because 6 is upside down. Oh, there we go again. Okay. 9, 11, 11. That's what this is showing as well. So it's in so many different places. It's really crazy. But, it just keeps working out this way. They keep showing it. 9, 11, 11, 9 on this one. Even this right here. Here's Barack Obama. Again, there's that. I was talking about the violet. Or ultraviolet. There's his tassels, ultraviolet, and then he's sitting in a pink chair, which has to do with the explosions that's behind the death figure later. There's pink and ultraviolet explosions. Oh, there's so much I can get into. I just can't get into everything right now. I gotta keep on this same thing. But right here, you notice that this teleprompter says LOL, so like he's laughing, but he's really, his gloves make an egg shape that J.K. Bugout pointed out, and it's cracked, and he's actually eating the egg because he is the dragon, and his tassel actually touches the dragon because he's the dragon trying to eat the egg, and his gloves look like an egg, and it's cracked, and he's trying to eat it, and it sounds like he's laughing, but he's really eating the eggs, like and laughing, not really, but kind of eating. And then right here is this teleprompter, and it superimposes this LOL over the EVOL. So if you just look at it this way, okay, so again, these are lowercase, so E equals, again, is 1, L is 8, O is 1, 1, and then L is 8. So look at that. Can you make some stuff out of that? Yeah, you know what it is? It's 9, 11, 11, 8. That's what that is. And then we know what these are over there again. It's 9, 11 again. Or 11. Yeah, that's 11 again, so it's 11 again. So those two together, which we showed before. So it's 9, 11 is 8, 11 again. Even with the LOL over it, showing 9, 11 is 8, 11 again. Okay? Or 8, 11 is 9, 11, whatever. So this is, again, it's pointing to these two things being the same thing, but also being, decoys of each other. Okay? And then basically I'm going to go to this one now because my daughter, she was like, that's green, and she did it green real quick. And green is, G is 3, R is 14, E is 1, and E is 1, and N is 10. So look, this very quickly, look at this. So 3 plus 1 plus 4 is 8, and they have 1, 1, 1 because you don't count the 0. Remember that? Remember that master code? Remember 8, 1, 1, 1? So that is 8 plus 1 is 9, and then we have 1, 1, 9, 11 again. And then what do we have here? We had, because that was green and we had that, we had 9, 11, 8, 11, 9, 11, 8, 11. 9, 11 again, 9, 11, 8, 11, 9, 11. I mean, it's just all over. It's encoded all over here. Okay? Now, here's Lily again. Again, remember, this is Obama because he had the violet tassel, and then it's sprayed on him right here, or it's colored on him right here. That's him right there. Okay, and then we have the same color, this periwinkle blue, or whatever it is. You know, now sometimes it looks a little bit more blue, and sometimes it looks a little bit more green. It looks more like a turquoise color or something like that, but it's kind of like a periwinkle in the sense. But maybe it's a little more green. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's that color, but these are both the two colors that are the, okay. Anyway, over here, right there, you see that and that is a calla lily. Okay, a calla lily is very symbolic. This lily right here is very symbolic of death. We've seen it as portraying death, but it really means resurrection and rebirth. So that's why, I remember as a kid seeing cartoons Looney Tunes and stuff, and when a character would die, he had a calla lily on his chest or whatever. And sometimes you have calla lilies on, in a funeral or whatever, because it represents, a calla lily, especially a white one, represents rebirth and resurrection. Okay, so now let's look at that. Let's look at it backwards and blow it up a little bit. We have 9, 11, and then calla lily. So basically, it's going to be a rebirth and a resurrection, in a sense, on 9/11. There's 9, 11, and then the calla lily's coming out of it. There's 9/11 again. It just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. I'm telling you, this is the solve completely to this thing. Okay, then we have the apple. I've went through so many things about the apple. Again, there's a volcano right there, and it splits. That's where the section of the East Rift Zone is going to fall right off into the ocean, causing the massive mega tsunami. It's all planned by, the Rothschilds that own Puna Geothermal Venture there in Puna, basically. And then on the other side of this thing, I've shown in previous videos, it says Hawaii on the apple, upside down and backwards. But I'm showing you this right now as it relates to 9/11. So before this splits, I'm going to zoom in on it. Check this out. It's 9. Use this here, 9. It's 9, right here, 9, and then 11, 1, 1. Some pretty long ones here, but 9/11 right there. 9/11. If you can't see that, it's right there. Okay, and then also, and I've shared this in my videos in the past before I really thought about 9/11. It's 9. This is 9 again, right? And this is the light part is a 2. It's a 2 right here, 2. That's a 2. Okay, and then we have a light 3 right here, 3. It's right there, 3. Right there, 3. Okay, 9, it's 9, 2, 3, which is 9/11. It shares the same 9, 9, 1, 1. Okay, also, it's also 6, 2, 3. Well, how is that? Let me show you. Upside down. Let's look at upside down. Then we have 6, and I'm going to use this time because I can't use the thing down here so much. But we have 9 becomes a 6 now. And that 2, the way it's curved, it's still a 2 upside down. There's a 2 right there. This is harder to see. I've shown this more clear in other videos. But that 3 that was right here, there's the light 3 right there. The bottom of this light 3, now it's upside down, is containing this 3. There's a 3 right here. There's a 3, it's a dark 3. This dark 3 is intertwined with this light 3 that I used when it was up the other way, the right side up. There's this light 3 right here. There's a dark 3 that's intertwined with that right here. So we have 6, dark 6, that was a 9, light 2, and then we have a dark 3 right here. It's right here. It's hard to see with the shine right here, but I've shown it in other videos when it was rolling, and you can see the 3 a little bit better. So 6, 2, 3 is 9, 2, 3, which is 9/11. It's right there. It's right there. Okay, this is solved. This is absolutely solved. It's right there. And then it splits. Okay, on the 11th day, which is 9/11/11/9/12. And so basically something that we're going to have events starting from probably bigger events, or maybe not such big events, but it's going to cascade starting from September 1st, which will be the first day going into 9/11/12. September 1st, 2nd, we're going to start seeing more things go into this, and then we're going to see things 7 days before, 8 days before, and all the way up to the 7th day before and the 8th day before, which is 3 days before each one, 9/11, 9/12, or all the way from back to 7 days before and 8 days before, because they love the 7/8s, and they're going to do mirrored of the 7s and the 8s, if that makes sense. I could have done a diagram on all that, but it was going to take even longer. There's several things I could have done that would take a lot longer to show you. But so anyway, that's it, and this is the 11th day it splits open. Anyway, so back to this, and let's keep going. So we have the oil drip in this scene. Okay, and what is it creating down here? And I've talked about this before, but I didn't know it had to do with this exact 9/11. There was a 9/11 that had to do with hitting Hawaii, and Hawaii was down here. And but I'm not getting into that right now. But this is 9/11 as well. So if you take that and blow that up, this is 9. Kind of curves on the bottom. It's a 9 curve. This is a slash, but it's backwards because this whole thing is really backwards. And if this 9 was turned backwards, it'd be completely backwards. But they turned the 9 correctly, the right way. And there's a slash that's backwards. And this is 11. There's an 11 right here, a slash, and a 9. It's in the oil slick. I mean, it's not going to be perfect because they're trying to hide it, of course. And like I said about this as well, this is also referring to this was a hurricane, and then the scene changes, and where you see Hawaii right here. So this was Olivia about to hit Hawaii last year, and then it was 600, and the 7 was back. This is upside down. 607's backwards, and 71 days. 671 days from 9/11 last year was when Trump was inaugurated, or when he was actually elected, which was 9/11 or 11/9, November 9th, which is shown in here as well, because 9/11 is 11/9. Anyway, I've shared all that. That's even more support that this is that is 9/11, and this actually is 671, going back from last year's 9/11, going all the way back to when Trump was actually elected on 11/9. It was the next day after that Tuesday, because it went over midnight to the next day, which was 11/9. This is all, and Trump's all related to all this stuff too. Anyway, and then here's that scene again. If you've never seen the scene of the transition, I didn't put it in here, but when this transitions from this to this, okay, this shows this is Hawaii right here. This is the island of Hawaii, and as it's transitioning, this part up here that's coming up right here is the explosion that comes off of Kilauea. And I could have showed this again, but I didn't want to get into everything else again. So many things. I can go on these tangents and get into all this stuff, and it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. Okay, and then this is related to New York. This is relating to Hawaii. And then there's the island of Hawaii. So if you squint your eyes, if you don't know this yet, squint your eyes, look at this, squint your eyes, and it says HI. For Hawaii, and it is a little island in the water, and then this dark patch represents a tsunami, and it's about to hit, because this is technically first, but it's the same day, and it's at night, I believe. But this is technically first because it's time zone, but it's the same moment, roughly the same time frame. And then this thing is showing it's going to hit New York. So, but in chronologically, technically, in time zone, this is first, if that makes sense. But if you look at Hawaii, close up and upside down, this HI, okay, it's shaped this way for a reason. For this to look like HI, and then also to look like 1, 1, and 9 right here with a little tail. Okay, it's not as easy to see, but it is here, 9, 11. It's right here. This is 1 and 1 and 9. Okay, that's it. It's 9/11, Hawaii. And then here's a scene with the Asian girl, and she's, we're pretty much seeing that happen. The tanks coming into Hong Kong. This is all process. I haven't got into much of that because it's, to me, it's super obvious, and the tanks are coming in from China, and this is all about happening. But I'm really into the timing and stuff. So here it is. This is all going to be timing, and this is some events, major event around this time is going to happen. Here, look at this. It's 9. There's a huge 9 right here. 9. Big 9. 9 right here. 9. Okay. And then 1, 1, 9/11. It's right here. I mean, you know, it can't be extremely obvious and it can't be exactly perfect, but it is 9/11. That's what that is. That's a big 9, and those are the two white lines there are 1/1, 9/11. There it is again. It's just all over the place. It's sticking out everywhere. Are you amazed yet? Are you blown away? Are you convinced yet? I got more. This is another scene. I thought I took that off. Okay, anyway, this is another scene. And again, I've said this many times. This represents the East Coast because this is Maine. And there's actually, in Nova Scotia, there's a little section that looks like a big toe that comes off. It's a little north of Maine. It looks just like this. This is the East Coast. This is Florida with the little, what is it called? I'm trying to remember what that big lake on Florida is called, but there's a little divot right here. This is Florida. And so this is where we had Hurricane Florence, and now maybe right towards the end is going to be what? Hurricane Dorian. And this is because this actually represents, and I've explained this before, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Okay, and we had hurricanes on the East Coast, 2017, 2018, and then now 2019. And this could get perfect for the timing of this 9/11, or it'll start fizzling out at that time. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. But this is definitely the timing. Okay, and it's going to be hitting Florida, and it's right in here. So anyway, but right here, what this phallic symbol is right here, check this out, and I've showed this before, but down here it says right here it's a 9/23 sideways, or it could be 623, and I've shared this in previous videos, but I'm going to show you this. So as you get closer to it, can you see the 9/12 sideways? I'm going to show you. It's 9/12. That's 9/12. Do you see it? Do you see 9/12? Oh. There's 9 right here, 9/12. 9/12. Okay, so of course it's 9/12 because this represents, I said, the East Coast. Because over here, so when this represents actually 2018, over here on the other side, over here, again, this is all water here, there's water over here, there's the oceans and stuff. This is, the hurricanes happen over Hawaii, and it's way over here. But then this is East Coast, that's West Coast, way over there with that, and that's a hurricane. That's what a hurricane looks like when it goes up. Anyway, so of course 9/12 is going to be on the East Coast, and then 9/11, you know, on the in the West. So there's 9/12, which is so this is right. If you go to the right here, if I go to the right, or it's below that, so I'm going to show you what it looks like right there. So this is actually, it's a backwards 9. Okay, so it's a backwards 9, kind of like that. Okay, but and then this is a slash. That's kind of the wrong direction also. And then we have 2. These like little iceberg things, the little ice patches make a 2, and this outline of this thing makes a 3. So it's 9/23, which is still 9/12. Like I said, 9/11 and 9/12 are 9/23. Okay, so it's right there. It's literally right there. It's harder to see. This is pretty hard. It's more faint because I had to blow it up pretty good, but it is there. This is a backwards 9. This is a slash. This is a 2 with these sections of ice that's supposed to be floating in the water, and then this outline of this is a 3. All right, so here we go. This thing's freaking out. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so I had a little technical difficulties, but when I had this pause, and my daughter was telling me that actually with this new cipher based on that alphabet that's in the classroom, S is normally 19, but in this situation it's 15. Right here, oops, I did it again here, 15. And then E is 1, and then E is 1, so for C, so that is 611, which is 9/11 also. Okay. Let me go back to where I was here. Okay, I was right here. All right. So this next scene is the Antichrist being basically revealed, or being born and coming out. And it's even right here, if you can imagine. So check it out. So it's right over here. If you can see it, I don't know right now, but look. It's right here. 9 right here. 1 right there. 9 1 1 right there. 9/11. And then check this out. You won't believe this. Right here is 1, 2. I mean, 9, 11, and 12. Look at this obvious 2. It's upside down, but look at this perfect 2. It's negative space, which is crazy. That is a perfect 2. You see that? I mean, that is crazy. So it's 9. It shows 9, 11, 12. 9, 11, and 9, 12. Right there. Boom. Right in front of your face. I'm telling you. This is crazy. Okay, so I want to say again, August 27th on the Julian calendar is 9/11 on the Gregorian calendar. But I want to remind you that August 27th was the 239th day. So all the stuff I've shared about the guide stones, the solve and everything on the 239th day is this. It's just on the Julian calendar because it's hidden. It's 16 days difference, depending on if you look at August 27th, including the day of August 27th, or after or the next day going into either 9/11 or 9/12. It's however you look at it. It's 16 days difference. It's very crazy here. Okay, so but just as a reminder, 239. So again, I had 239 as an angle, and that pointed to August 27th, which is on the Julian calendar. Again, it's a hidden angle. It's a hidden calendar. But that is the same as 9/11 on the Gregorian. And then I decided to go back to my other angles, and I'm like, I could not believe it. I thought I saw something, and I thought there had to be something in there. But you look at this angle right here, the obtuse blue one, it's 219 degrees, which is 9/12. And it would be because Georgia, where the Georgia Guidestones are in the east side of the United States. It's crazy. Okay, they're in the Eastern time zone. So it would be 9/12. It wouldn't even be a 9/11 because that would be the west side. It's exactly 9/12 because it's 219 backwards is 9/12. Wow. And that even shows the attack day that way as well. On the Julian calendar and then also on the Gregorian, both. And it's the difference of what? 16 days exactly. That's more evidence. This is solved. This is absolutely solved. Okay, and then here I'm going to talk about North Korea. I've talked about that many times that they show up in gematria. In fact, the Economist magazine 2018 shows all these different icons, and in an angle diagonal is New York attack. There's a missile. There's a Statue of Liberty, a missile, and Kim Jong-un, and I've shown that before. And in gematria all over the place when I was doing stuff about Hawaii and over this last year, Kim Jong-un and North Korea kept coming up in gematria all the time. And so here's an example. There's 239, which is August 27th, which is also on the Julian, which is also 9/11/12 on the Gregorian. And here he is standing by this MiG. I think it's a MiG-19 or something. My brother Jeff was saying, which MiG means some stuff too, and it's a 19. It's just crazy. I couldn't put everything on here. But here he is right there, associated with 9/11. And so in many ways they are. And like I said, in gematria and all kinds of stuff, North Korea keeps popping up. And so they're going to blame North Korea. I mean, think about it. How many times have you heard North Korea launch missiles for the last several years on the media? Oh, there goes North Korea again. There goes North Korea again. There goes, and they're so evil, and they're horrible to their people and all this stuff. And that's probably true, but the point is that you're hearing this stuff all the time, and so it's implanted into your brain, and then they're tied to this. I mean, they're tied to this, and they just had a new news about how they miniaturized these nuclear weapons on missiles, and also a new submarine just recently with nuclear capabilities and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is all coming out just in time for all kinds of stuff. And then, one of my most definitive proof that North Korea we're going to have something to do with it is really obvious. This picture right here with Kim Jong-il with Clinton and his cabinet of different people, like even Podesta and stuff. And look at this mural that's in North Korea. They're in North Korea. They're in Pyongyang in August 4th, 2009, which is, by the way, August 4th is Barack Obama's birthday. Which is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence at all. Okay, and then look at this. See these massive waves of flooding, and then look at these things. They look kind of like built. They're supposed to be rocks, huge rock structures, but they look like buildings. It looks like New York. It looks like Manhattan being hit by a massive tsunami. Yep. So they're probably going to be tied to all this. I mean, not probably, they will be. And maybe even Russia and Iran as well, or Iran, and that's going to really start World War III. So, and on 9/11, not again. Can't fool me again. I mean, seriously. And look at some of my ode to my brother Bruno. You know, there's Simpsons, 239 pounds. He's trying to get to the thing of 300 pounds. Crazy stuff. And then, you know, here's the Simpsons again. And so this represents an I right here, this nuclear rod or whatever it is, I, which is the 9th letter of the alphabet, and then 23 or 239 if you could look at it backwards right there in the Simpsons again. And then look here, this is 236, which is 118 plus 118, and those are the twin attack days like I showed. And then you have 7 plus 1 is 8, so you have the 88 right here. And then the 118 and 118, 2 attack days. It's all right here. There he is another time doing the scale, and he's 239 pounds, 239 again. Springfield, 1239, crazy. It's all over the place. Okay, and I want to show you this again. I've talked about this license plate, okay, and this was the day of, I saw this the day coming home from work on 8/27, that day. And so I really feel like the Lord was just showing me the real thing, and I assumed it was about that day, but it's not. It's about the coming day. It's about 9/11, and let me show you how that is. So look at it at a distance. Like I said before, this thing does so much, and the reason why it's that way and it's shown to me this way is because it does so much. I mean, it looks like basically it's 8/8, but it's 88 and 88, okay, right? It looks like 88 and 88. I mean, even though this is BIB and 818. But from a distance, it looks like 818, 818. It just does. And then if you just take 8 plus, what it looks like from a distance, 8 plus 1 plus 8 is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. So you have 8 again and 8. So 8, it's also the 88. But what it really is, since it's really BIB, B is 2, which can be broken down into 1, 1. Then I is 9. And then B again is 2, which would be broken down into 1 and 1. And then again, like I said, 8 plus 1 plus 8 is 17. So that's 17. And plus 1 plus 7 is 8. So we have 8 right here. Okay, so then you turn it upside down and backwards. It's 8/11 is 9/11. There it is. And this was a gift from God on the day on 8/27. I thought it was about 8/27, but looking back at it, it's actually about 9/11. And he was showing me that 8/11 that I've been looking at is actually 9/11. 8/11 is 9/11. That is crazy. And it's the 88. It's 888. It's 88 and 88, which have to do with the Passover and the blood moons on either side this year, which is unique this year. That's why it's all happening this year for so many reasons. And it's the 88, Back to the Future, going through the portal. Back to the Future, Martin McFly had to go to 88 miles per hour. It's so many things. So I'm telling you, you've been warned, and I got more. And I got a little bit more here. And then look from September 11th, 2001, when the first attack happened, to September 11th of this year. Then Bruno did this, and I'm going to just reiterate this, what he did on his video, but it's 11/11. There's the 11/11 again, and they're all about 11/11 because it's going from 11 to 11. And then look at this 18, it's exactly 18 years in the Gregorian, which is really 6 plus 6 plus 6. And then look, imagine that. It's 216 month, as in the 216th day of the year, which is August 4th, Barack Obama's birthday, the Antichrist. And 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. That's just all a coincidence, people. That's just nothing but a coincidence. And then you have right here, this is what percentage of a common year by this day, from this September 11th to September 11th. This is what percentage of a common year. It's 1800.10% of a common year, because it's over about 18, a little more than 18 years. So it's actually, look, oops, I can't write. That's 911. It's also 8111 because that's backwards, but it's 9/11 again. So we have 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. I mean, there's even more stuff with these, and I'm not getting into all that. But that gets the point across. It's really crazy. And then I want to talk about this as well. So this is a God thing. So again, the Revelation 12 sign was from November 20th, 2016, when Jupiter entered Virgo right here, which is really the king planet. Jupiter was named that way because they want the birth of Jupiter, but it's really the king planet in God's Maseroth, not astrology and everything. But God originally designed these to be godly and everything, and that entered there, and then it exited here on September 9th. But then, so that altogether was 293 days. And then I figured out by the Lord leading me that 293 days has to do with the prophetic year, which is shown about 8 times as 8 examples in Revelation. So the prophetic year is 360-day time period, not 365, it's 360. As an example, and God has a nice round numbers. For some reason, He does a prophetic year in for the future of in Revelation. So, for example, so if it's a 360-day time period, then 12 months would be 30-day periods every 12 months, totaling 360 days. So in a 30-day month, so in 9 months times 30 days is 270 days, and then we have the 23 days left over, equals 293, and that's how many days was in the Virgin. Okay, how the king planet was in the Virgin, which is the conception of the man-child into heaven, which is the body of Christ going to meet the head, which is Jesus in heaven, which is the rapture. Okay, and so that's 293 days that Jupiter was in Virgo, or 9 prophetic months and 23 prophetic days, or 9 prophetic months and 23 days, whatever, which is 923. Which the sign that happened 14 days later after this was 923:17. Okay, my point with this is to understand the prophetic year, that is 360 days, and that God set that up as a clue and an account, and I'm going to show you this. This is really crazy. So if you go the 14 days later from when it was born, actually on 9/9, takes you to September 23rd, and you had the full Revelation 12 sign with the full alignment and everything, which was a miracle. And people that don't think that or don't believe that's real, there's too much stuff to support it. There's just too much stuff, like I'm showing you, the prophetic months and days and all this stuff. So God's giving you clues, and what He's giving you clues is to, I believe, because 9/11, 9/12 we're talking about here, okay, is if you go from September 23rd, 2017, the Revelation 12 sign, to September 12th, 2019, it's 720 days exactly, which is exactly 2 prophetic years. Exactly. So that would make sense that would be the birth of the man-child into heaven on 9/12, because that's 2 prophetic years. And the reason why I have times on here is because in the King James, in the original King James, it likened the tribulation time, the first set of 3.5 years, to time, which is 1 year, times, which is 2 years, and half a time, which is 6 months, basically. So a time in the King James Version is 1 prophetic year, and then times is 2 years. So we have a precedent for 2 prophetic years in the Bible. It's called times in the King James, and then they call it other things in the other versions. But so 2 prophetic years is a precedent. It is called times in Revelation, in King James Version. That is crazy. Okay, that is absolutely crazy. So I believe this is solved, and we very possibly, like I said, I believe when the tsunamis happen, we could possibly be seeing the children leaving, the innocents up to the age of accountability, whatever that is. I think it might be 12 and 13, depending on boy or girl. And then a couple days later, because that's what I see in iPad Go, we have nuclear attack by our enemies, and then the body of Christ, or the bride of Christ, the faithful that are following Jesus, not the rest of Christianity that's not even following Him, are going to be stuck here during the tribulation. And that's described, if you want to see it, in Revelation 2 and 3, talking about the different kinds of churches represent the different types of Christians. And had Jesus had something against each one of them. But the Philadelphian church, which is shown all over the place. We just had a fire at a church in Philadelphia, which represents the Philadelphian church, and the gematria is crazy on it. And they just show this stuff all the time. It's really crazy. But the Philadelphian church says they're going to be exempt from the trial to come, and they're going to come through the door that no man can shut, and Jesus is going to open it up for them. Those are the faithful. If you have any question about that, read Revelation 2 and 3, and you'll see that Jesus has something against these other people. Okay, these other and they're Christians. They're a part of the church. He's recognizing them, and so then he talks about the Laodiceans, which is the last one. And he said, you know, you're blind and naked in the dark, and you need to buy from me white clothing and salve to put on your eyes, and you have all this money, but you don't have what matters. You got to come and buy from me those things. And that I could easily reconcile or liken Laodiceans with American Christians, most of them. It's absolutely crazy. And the reason why he's saying buy from me, he's saying get to know me, and I will exchange these things for you and give you white raiment and give you salve for your eyes to open up your eyes. But you don't come to me, you don't know me, is what he's saying. If you know Jesus, not know of him, there's a difference between knowing him and knowing of him. If you're a Christian and you just know of him and you don't follow him, you know, hey, one good key to knowing if you know Jesus, do you do what he says even when even when you don't want to? Does he tell you to do things you don't want to do, but you do it anyway, and you're blessed, and it changes your life, it revolutionizes your life, and sometimes it's super hard. If you have not done that, if you hardly ever do that, you probably don't know him. There's a good clue. Just knowing of him is different than knowing him. I'm getting off my soapbox now. Okay, so check this out. This is the last bit I have, and it's pretty crazy. From the 4th of July, 1776, which is the birth of the United States, 1776 was 888 plus 888, if I can write here. It's harder when I have a distance on my screen. So from 1776, 4th of July, to September 12, 2019 is 88,800. So let's look at 88,800 plus, or just also, 24 is 8 plus 8 plus 8. So we were founded on 888 plus 888, and we're going to be going out or just starting to be destroyed on 888 plus 888. It's crazy. That works out. And then check this out. This is, right here, this is 9. I can't write, man. I'm shaking a little bit here. My screen's shaking because I have it mounted here. 9, and then 2 breaks down to 11, and then we have 9. 9, 11, 9. We also have this, if we go 9 days, and this is broken down into 11 and 9. It's just crazy. The numbers are all over the place. Okay, so there we go. I've made a very good case, and we'll see what happens. But if this doesn't happen, I'm not doing any more attack days. I'm not doing iPad Go 2 anymore, because if it doesn't happen, it's not real. And I've been super duped. But that's not the case. I'm showing you massive amount of evidence, and then next, right after I'm speaking right now, I'm going to include this video that I did, the initial solve of the cube, of the Georgia Guidestones cube. And if you haven't seen that ahead of time, watch my part 2 of iPad Go 2 and Georgia Guidestones completely solved, part 2, so you can see the background of the cube and when it was placed there and why, and some other things. And so understand why I'm doing a solve of the cube. But right now I'm going to do a solve of the cube like I originally did in my last series. Plus I'm going to do an additional solve that's part of the cube based on what I learned from iPad Go 2 and this new cipher. And in a sense, so you'll see, and how it points to the day. Okay, so this is crazy. So that's going to be next. Here we go. Okay, this is Aaron, and I'm going to do the solve to the Georgia Guidestone cube. So basically I'm going to show the first solve again, and if you haven't seen it, watch my first video that kind of basically tees it up, so you can see the background and everything and how it was removed and all that kind of stuff. See the backstory on it before you see the solve, because it's much more effective that way. And that's iPad Go 2 and Georgia Guidestones Completely Solved Part 2. Watch that. And then on Part 3 I do the solve, but I'm going to do it right now. And then I'm also going to do another solve based on this new information I have given you on 9/11 and 9/12. So let's do the original one here. So it was originally sitting in the little slot like this, and then people see 20 and 14. They assumed that's what it meant. It was 2014 because that's when it was put in there. That's the background on that. And so this would be the top. So the solve on this, according to gematria, M equals 1, 3. So you have 1, 3, and 1, 3. You start at the top. This is the top. 1, 3, and 1, 3. 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3 is 8. Okay, then you read to the right with letters. So you go like this. And then you have 20 here. Okay. And then, but that's not the right orientation. So it's right here. So you have 20, which is really 2 because you take out the 0. Okay. And then you actually go left because left is a lower in gematria value than the word right. So you go left. Okay. So you have 7. So that's 8, 2, 7. So we'll do that first. We have 8, 2, 7. Okay. And then we have, so we keep going here. Then we have 8 again. And then 5. Okay. So I'm going to go to that point. 8 plus 5. Okay. And then we go to the bottom because we hit everything. And then this is jam. Which is just J-A-M. J is 10, A is 1 in gematria, simple gematria, English gematria, and then 1, 3 is M. So we 10 plus 1 plus 3 is basically 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's what we have left. Plus 6. 8 plus 5 plus 6 is 19. So we have 8, 27, 19. All right, so that's the date. Okay, but with this new information, I decided let's go backwards. Let's do everything the opposite and see what happens. So let's do that now. So we'll start with jam. And again, that's 6. Okay, so we have 6. And I did it in different ways, but I'm just going to show you my solve here. And that was the best possible one. So instead of going this way, we're going to go opposite. So we go to, yeah, actually now we're back to the 2 this way. It's kind of crazy how that works. So the 2, so plus 2, okay, and that's 8. Okay, then we have 7 and 8 and 5. 7 plus 8 plus 5. And then we have, basically, we end with 8 again, okay? So plus 8. So simply that is easily 15, those two together, it's just easy to add, 5 and 8, and then 15 plus 23 is, guess what, 828. You see that? 828. So I'm going to turn this over. So we have 827, 19 was the first solve. I'll put it right up here. 827, 19, and then we have 828, okay? And then what I noticed too in the past was that these are Roman numerals, M and M. In fact, jam, there's no J in Roman numerals, so that's not Roman numerals. But this just stuck out to me. I know M is 1,000, so that's 2,000. I thought that's really interesting. So let's add 2,000 to the mix. So now we have, what's the complete solve to this? It's 8, 27, and 28, 2019, which is 9/11 and 9/12, 2019, because we're on the Julian calendar right here, Julian, and it's 16 days difference. Plus 16 would give you 9/11 and 9/12, 2019. That's the complete solve to the Georgia Guidestone Cube.